Good day. This is the fourth lesson on history, and today I'm going to talk about how we behave as brilliant people. Brilliant people. Now, you all know we are brilliant people, but our brilliance is hidden. I'm going to tell you how to bring that hidden brilliance out. And I'm Professor M.T.R. Jayasinghe, a Senior Professor, Department of Civil Engineering. So when I was a kid, I used to get up at 4:30 mostly because I I used to work at the university until 7 o'clock, after 4, and then came home and had dinner, had a wash and had dinner, and then I used to watch TV until 9:30 every day. Then then I had 7 hours of sleep, and I got up at 4:30 in the morning. And when you get up after 7 hours of sleep, your body had a good rest. Your brain had a super rest. Your 7 hours of rest, and it's your brain. You do a little bit of meditation, so your brain is not full of rubbish. It's full of good ideas, and you start practicing four noble truths. That is noble ways of living. That is metta, karuna, mudita, upeksha. So later I'll tell you what it is, but or how to live under that. I think already I have got one presentation on that, so you can go through those presentations. Then your brain is free of all kinds of unwanted elements, and your brain is ready. So when you get up early in the morning, your stomach is empty, so there's nothing to be done in the stomach. So when brain says, I like to think now, use my brain deeply, all the blood supply will be to the head. And the brain becomes super machine, a brilliant machine, and you will solve problems very, very, very fast. And I can tell you, that's how I always do designs. One day in 2009, the engineer of my design team, now today he runs his own firm. Those days he was working at Maga Engineering. He came to meet me with Mr. Piyadasa and told me that they need value engineering, alternative design for value engineered alternative design for 125-meter long bridge. So I said, fine. They didn't know what they wanted. I said, it's fine. You give me the details tomorrow. By tomorrow morning, I'll give the design. So I went home, slept little early, and got up at 3 o'clock. And I worked out the solution then and there. I'm a bridge engineer. I know what I can give solutions in fraction of a second. So I gave the solution with I-beam solution, knowing that Maga is going to do it on their own for the first time in a remote place. So I didn't want to go for a complicated box girder type one. I went with and I did not go with the standard designs. I developed a section myself after doing few trial calculations, and then fed the information, did structural analysis using SAP 2000, and then fed the information from SAP 2000 to the spreadsheet that I have developed for designing bridges in a very short time. Then by 6 o'clock all that work was over. Then I called Seneka and told him how to do the substructure design and what else? Substructure and foundation design. And for that 3 hour work, I was paid 2 million rupees in 2009, early 2009, and then I gave 1 million to Seneka because he did, although he was paid by Maga. Still, he was my good friend. So I had to look after my friends. So we call it Bedankanwa, Badankanepa, Bedankanna. So I gave 1 million to Seneca. And then there was another bridge, the 75 meter, and Maga Engineering adopted the same design. Then Mr. Pedas has told, we are earning a lot of money. If you are using the Professor Jayasinge's design again, we must pay him another 2 million. So I was given another 2 million. Again, I gave another 1 million. Out of that, 1 million to Seneca and kept only 1 million. And those days, I did a lot of work, and some people used to say, Professor Jayasinghe ke salli dansala. So every month, I used to pay all the people around me who helped us using our consultancy earnings, which were huge. Those days, our contracts were in 10 million range per contract. So we earned a lot of money for our university. We earned a lot of money for our people, and we were very rich. We were helping everybody around us, and people were so happy to work at civil engineering department, because some were finding they wanted very badly to come to civil engineering department, but we always used to screen our people and take only the good people. So basically, when you get up early in the morning, your brain is super. And in 2015 also, there was a massive problem at Nigambo Hospital. Again, I went home and knowing that there's a problem, and then I was asked to come for a meeting with Dr. Rajit Senaratna, and it was about uh, allocation of 200 million for 50,000 square feet. So rather than going for the meeting empty-handed, I got up at 2 o'clock, did a complete design of a building system, complex of 50,000 square feet, a two-story building complex. And because we knew, we had some idea about the concept, and I was told there was a big land also. So I did that design, and by 6 o'clock in the morning, the design was over, and then I phoned few people to confirm the cost figures I used, because I used them without from my memory, but I just want to reconfirm. And around 9:30 or 10 what sometime, I had a vehicle coming early in the morning. A vehicle came from SDNCC, because I went to them for the meeting with the general manager of SDNCC, Engineer Susil Vijay Bandara. And at that meeting, I had a little bit of fight with Mr. Nimal Lansa. He was a provincial politician. He used to be, many people did not speak against him, but to me, I don't care, because I'm a guy with born under Virgo star, and on cage number 1 I have what do you call, Mars, Agaru, and cage number 7 I have Jupiter or Brahaspati. So I don't care. I mean, I don't care about who the thug is, because I'm a bigger thug than any thug in the world. So I shouted at him, and Seneca was, telling. I went to the meeting with Seneca also, because he was going to do the designs. So after the meeting, we were told, okay, Dr. Rajit took our side, because he could see he's talking to a real guy. So Dr. Rajit told us that, okay, you come up with the design. Then by Monday, it was Friday, by Monday morning, 10 o'clock, you have to give us, 11 o'clock, you have to give the design, all the calculations, and BOQ. And I said, okay, fine. And after that, I came home, and I went to Kurunagala and Mahiyangana for Kurunagala for the Hammadura Spirit ceremony and Mahayangana for to work on those Mahayangana projects. So I told Seneca to go to site and keep me informed. And he told me instead of two buildings of 20-meter width, they want three buildings of 15-meter width. I said, oh, you do whatever you want. And then he designed the buildings, and then he did all the structural designs over the weekend with his team. A brilliant team. Those days he was working at Mark Engineering. Over the weekend he did everything. By 11 o'clock everything was submitted and I was monitoring remotely, and and the designs were all changed based on the information, new information emerging. It was used to be composite panels and finally it came out as zinc alum sheet outside, skin and Dura panel inside with the cement fiber sheet laminated 4 millimeter cement fiber sheet laminated Dura panels. So because I was told at Mayangana temple in the island, we went to see this construction of 84 feet tall Buddha statue, and then I have done all the foundations and the other structural parts. So I was told that sir, don't use Mr. Chandana Abe Gunaswardhana, Abe Sirivardhana, Abe Gunawardhana told me, sir, never use composite panels because composite panels have leaked at few places. So using column and another system for interior walls. So I changed the design then and there, gave instructions to Seneca, and Seneca produced all the BOQs. And then in the next meeting, I told the Honorable Minister that there's only one way the project can happen. That is, all 200 million shall be given upfront. And that was that would have been the only contract that would have been completed, giving 200 million upfront, and later we spent another 48 million and got four operating theatres, and they are considered as the finest operating theatres in Sri Lanka because they are all having aluminium composite panel partition walls as interior walls. So they are washable, they are very clean, they are super, they are considered as the best operating theatres in Sri Lanka. And so what we say is, what is wrong with us? We don't get up in the morning, we don't use the brain when stomach is empty. We try to do things when brain is tired, stomach is full. So after dinner our kids try to study, nothing happens because doesn't get enough oxygen. And the main problem in Sri Lankans is also they take too much calories, and their body mass index is completely out. And so if you want to, Japanese were also like this. They were developing but not so fast enough. After the Second World War, they decided we are not going to import any rice to Japan, and that changed everything. So they had no rice to eat. They had only little rice to eat, so they started eating other things than rice. They ate what the greens, they ate fish, they ate everything except rice. Rice is only a little bit in their plate. So when you take little rice, you get enough calories. But when you eat eggs, when you eat greens, when you eat fish, you get proteins and vitamins, fiber, everything. But you don't get enough starch to make you feel make your brain less efficient because the oxygen supply is insufficient. So you can see we have created our own mess, and our people's, if you ask, even now the kids' body mass index is out. We must make sure our body mass index is maintained. So have little rice in the morning, a lot of greens. You can have potatoes, so many other things because they are all full of fibers. And you must ensure you take an egg in the morning, then have a small meal a small meal for lunch with some rice, but a lot of greens, lot of vegetables, lot of You can have fish, you can have an egg. If you have had an egg in the morning, no harm in having again egg for lunch as well, because egg is full of protein, and proteins do never increase cholesterol, because cholesterol is based on oil and oil and carbs. So if you look at these diets are very popular. So if the moment we go for correct diet in Sri Lanka, there's no shortage of rice in Sri Lanka. And also, the moment you eat less rice, you will become super brainy. Your brain will start working. You will not be very lethargic. So you'll be a fine person. Thank you. Take care and also take the advice seriously and start eating less and less and less, and ensure you eat only the correct amount of calories. For that, please contact Dr. Nalini Silva.